Hi guys, this video is going to actually have a few different parts. It's going to teach you how to teach the groundwork to your horse in these three movements: rope wiggle back up, yield the hips or disengage the hips, yield the shoulders. The way I like to teach it is really slow and allow a lot of like baby steps for the horse to get it, and then we can expand on that. Why do I love this so much? This is like my favorite tool. If you don't know where to start with any horse, any age, you know, you're gonna modify it a little bit once you get familiar with it. Like for babies, I did work with a colt and it was super fun, but so valuable. It makes handling horses easier. It makes the training stages easier. You got more of a way to communicate with the horse about, hey, can you move your butt over here? Can you move your shoulders here? Can you respect my space? Can you move around? Can you feel comfortable with this? Can you back up without me having to touch you? And that you know, you can have the horse then from this rope wiggle back up where you just push energy, maybe just wiggle your fingers in the air with no ropes, and they'll like, oh, I know how to back. You can use it. It's a wonderful bridge to teach all the other stuff with where you set the horse up so that there's less confusion and just more fun in the learning process. It also has this effect of it's like I want to say like a translator, but that's not the right word. It's like teaching the ABCs of a way that you can communicate with each other and have a conversation about who's going to be the leader in this situation, this relationship, and it's you. And then the way you're doing it, it's like you are a fair and predictable leader, but you're the leader. You know, hey, excuse me, and it gives you tools to have the horse face you, but also with the rope wiggle, you can have them so that they don't turn and face you. I'll have to go on that with an additional video. So besides these three groundwork things, there are a few other things that I really love to add on, but we're just going to start with the first three. So, yeah, there's so many more things I want to tell you about it, but let's get going. So I'm gonna break each segment, each body part of the horse into a different video, and there's tons of details. But so what I did was I made a free PDF download with an overview of each thing that you're learning in these different videos, so you can print it out and bring it to the barn. It's just like a little pocket reminder of what you're gonna do. So I hope it helps. I hope you have fun and be safe. Okay, here we go. So for horses that like to go forward or run or definitely like walking on top of your space, I definitely start with the backup. In general, teaching out of the three main parts, I think it's great to start with this one. I'm going to wiggle the rope side to side, and I'm holding pretty close to the end. If for some reason you're not holding the very end, you might want to hold the rest of it in your hand, because if you're going to do this and it flies around, it hits, it hurts. Okay. Also, something to know is that if I do the rope wiggle like from here, it doesn't allow the rope to have very much weight. And so this actually, like a long, big loop in the rope, helps me to do less and have more of an effect. Good girl. The other thing is, from the horse's point of view, hey, Mammy, good girl, that if I'm asking her to back up, and I only have this much, she can feel that there's no more rope. She'll be like, well, I can't back up. I'm running out of rope. For a beginner horse, we're just getting the smallest good step and then rewarding on that. Okay, here we go. First off, I'm going to use my energy I'm going to actually imagine pushing a wall of energy towards this horse, towards her chest, and they can feel it, and then we're going to make it mean something. Whoops, back. So that's just like the first step. Okay, and then after that, we're going to wiggle side to side, small, and turn it up, and turn up our energy until we get backward motion in some direction. If she was going to start, walking forward, I would just keep on it and keep. If you need to get big, you can march in place. Okay, so here we go. Beginner horse. Pushing energy, because I forgot. Good, that's enough. That's good, one step. Let's do this again. Oops, not listening. This is very realistic. Good, good. Okay, up, up and up. Good. Rope wiggle can be used for that too. Okay, you're so cute. You got us. Now you're in my space. So I don't want to, if she's crowding me, I don't want to back up. That's backing up is a way of saying to the horse, come even closer. But I want to say, this is where I am. I want you to back up. If you're crowding me, you need to back up. And that's a conversation about who's the leader, who's making decisions. Okay, I'm going to reenact what it's like from the horse's point of view. This is a horse that might have they don't have a lot of practice backing up. There's just no reason for them to back up very much. They just kind of boop ba-doop ba-doo, go forward, and they don't get it. But here's sometimes what happens in the beginning. Okay, so I'm the horse, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty great. I'm just almost starting to fall asleep. I like standing here. Everything's pretty cool. Oh, now my person has just started pushing energy, and I feel it. Huh, interesting. But I'm maybe tuned out to it, or I just don't know what it means. It just doesn't really matter to me, because people do all sorts of weird things all the time. So, okay, so I'm the horse. Person's pushing energy. I don't really know what it means. Now they're starting to wiggle. Now I notice, and I'm like, boy, that's kind of annoying. Ugh, why? That's so annoying. Why are they? And the horse will just lean backwards and do everything except for take a step back. So you just turn up the volume. You're like, come on. You're trying to help them get the answer. Really help them. And then they kind of go, oh, and they accidentally take a step backwards. And then you just, everything is good. And you sigh. And now the horse is like, well, that was so annoying. Okay, whatever. They don't know yet what they did necessarily to create you, to make you stop being so annoying. So now you're going to repeat it. Okay, so for that, I step forward for the camera, but you're not going to ask the horse to come forward. You just want them to stay with their feet still, give enough time to reward and relax, and now you're going to ask again. Okay, so here's the horse. You're pushing energy. They're like, oh no, this feels familiar, but what? Not again. What's going on? And then you start your little wiggle, and now they're like, huh, what is it? Gosh, oh, not again. And they step backwards, and then you stop everything, and they're like, oh, I made that happen. Okay, so what I'm trying to convey here is that don't be afraid to turn up the volume to get the result, and then reward super fast. Like, if they start to pick up their foot and go backwards, shut everything down, relax, just be like, amazing, and give them time to watch them soft. Now, it seems like the horse is getting it. Let's ask for a couple steps. The thing to think about is, what is the quality of the backup that you're rewarding? So the very last step that she takes, that's what I'm rewarding. I don't want to reward that. She's not staying still. Okay, so let's get a couple. Energy, rope wiggle, back. Yeah, wow, that was very nice and light. Good girl. Now, if you really feel like, oh my gosh, I can't stand to be so far apart from my horse, I gotta pet her, I gotta love her. What you're gonna do is come up and you bridge the distance and tell her how good she is, so that she's still got her feet back there. Good girl. I can create it so I don't need the rope. Back, back, back. Good girl. And I make the clicker noise with my mouth. I put my tongue on the top of the roof of my mouth, and I make a suction noise. Good girl. I know, I just got rid of the treats. Okay, not to single out draft horses or some Hoflingers, but so I have met some horses that really didn't care about the rope wiggle, and it was really hard to get their feet to move backwards. So I'm going to share a story that will help you get this concept. And also, just to note, this does not apply to donkeys. Donkeys will stand in place with more energy, and for them, I'd use some positive reinforcement steps like that. If the rope wiggle, you're like, there are some horses where you're just doing this rope wiggle side to side and they don't care. So I'm going to explain what to do in that case. Okay, I want to tell the story again because my microphone died. I had a friend come out, and it was a Hoflinger, and man, that Hoflinger was like, I don't really care. I don't really care what you're doing. I don't need to move my feet backwards. It's fine. And I was like blowing out my shoulder, just trying to get some good quality of backup for this Hoflinger. And my friend come out, and it was really great. I'll tell you what I watched her do and what happened, and then I'll tell you what she explained to me. Okay, so I watched her stand in front of the horse, wiggle a little bit, not go crazy with the wiggling, and then she took her Pirelli stick and she went smack, and very swiftly and firmly smacked this horse in the chest, and the horse went, oh my gosh. Okay, then she did it again. She gave him like 30 seconds to relax and stuff. Then she did it again. She stood up straight. She looked at the horse, and then she wiggled a little bit, and the horse backed up. Now, I said, what did you do? Because I've been like, whoa, please back up. She said, well, I pushed energy, and then I made it mean something. So I said, well, show me what this feels like, So she stood and faced me and pushed energy, and I could feel it. It was like a pressure on my chest. So I know the horses can feel it. We just have to make it mean something. So, and remember to use it, right? So for cases where it's like you're just almost compromising your well-being, and it's just too much big stuff, you might have to just help them show what this little stuff means, and then you don't have to you might not have to use the stick again, because they're just like, oh, I got it. And also, you're gonna, by the repetition of doing this rope wiggle backup and incorporating it in your groundwork with the other movements, yield hip, yield shoulders, move around, disengage hip, back up. When you're adding it into this conversation of groundwork, they're gonna get the answer. They're gonna be lighter. It's gonna become easier for them. That's what I'm saying. Back. Good, super good. Okay,
that is backing. And remember, you can get the free PDF download of barn notes. You can review how to teach this, take it with you, and I'll see you in part 2 and part 3.